As you know, the Environmental Management System, or EMS, is a way for the City and County of Denver to measure and control the impacts that our work has on the environment. Every single department in the city is involved with the EMS. The EMS identifies potential areas in each department that could have an impact on the environment. The EMS creates a system in which we can manage those impacts. But a system can't function without each and every one of you on a daily basis. It's really your work that you do every day, whether it's calling out and letting your supervisor or others know when you see something that's amiss, or taking time to ensure something's taken care of properly, that creates a truly successful EMS system. So given all of this, you might find yourself asking,
how am I part of the EMS?
How am I part of the EMS?
How am I part of the EMS?
In street maintenance, I'm part of Denver's EMS every time I recognize a potential public or environmental health threat and work with my supervisor to immediately report the situation. I was just coming down the alley one day and happened to notice a couple of oil totes, big ones. One was sitting there, one was sitting over by this garage here. But they weren't covered. I mean, they were just open topped and they had lids, but the lids weren't there. Rainwater and other contaminants could have gotten in there and caused them to overflow. Their proximity to the storm drain was a big concern. Immediately called environmental health to see what they wanted to do with it and sent them pictures of the totes and the labels that were present. They sent somebody out and they took care of it.
I am a part of Denver's EMS every time I work in the paint booth using our paint preparation system.
The PPS system is a system that basically when you're done spraying or using any type of chemical, it stays in a bag, dries out, so that way you can throw it away.
Basically, you take the PPS cup out of the system here, you line it, you mix your chemical here. It's got a filtered system. You cap it. This is what you would attach to your paint gun. You do your spraying, and when you're all done, you take your waste. Here's the waste, and it goes into the trash. And it's environmentally safe to go away.
You rinse out your paint that's inside. That pretty much takes care of cleaning your equipment.
This is all your cleaning is down in there.
Hazardous waste is a big deal in the body shops. So where they used to use probably a 55-gallon drum every 6 to 9 months of lacquer thinner, I haven't used a 55-gallon drum in 2 years. You would take and just use lots of lacquer thinner in clean cups.
That you gotta swoosh it around, shake it, get it clean, dump it, do it again, clean it, shake it, dump it again, take the rag, wipe it. You're not touching near as much chemical. So I don't have to stick my hand in that cup anymore.
That waste is gone now. You're saving so much more money there. If you spend all of that time cleaning something when you could have been spending that time working on something, that's a big difference also.
We are part of the EMS every time we follow the procedures to stay with our vehicles while they are being fueled. This way, we are aware of any leaks or spills, and we can respond immediately. We don't put ourselves and others at risk by using cell phones, and we don't get back into our vehicles until fueling is complete.
In Parks and Recreation, I am part of the EMS every time I protect the environment from illicit discharges being released into the storm drains. I was driving past a theme park here. I noticed that there was a 1.5-inch garden hose that was feeding through the fence, and there was a milky white water liquid coming out of the hose. It fed right down this little embankment, the slope, through the bars. They left the hose laying right through here into the flow line, which follows the curb all the way down to the storm sewer, and that goes directly into the Platte River. I immediately stopped and I asked the maintenance worker what they were draining into the gutter. It wasn't until I took my camera out and started taking pictures and asking him what his name was that he stopped letting water flow into the flow line or discharging into the flow line and started rolling up the hoses. Immediately I contacted environmental health, and they contacted the folks here at the theme park. They opened up an investigation and met with the staff to explain why it was so hazardous to the environment. I am part of the EMS by being the eyes and ears for the environment and public health.
So we've just heard a few examples that show you how does the EMS apply to my job. I hope you can relate to them and see how important you are to the EMS. The EMS provides a structure to manage environmental impacts. And so while every department in the city has its own annual EMS goals to continuously improve its operations, it's really people like you that are the boots on the ground and the eyes and ears around town that have the most potential to contribute to the EMS.